Back here again, welcome back to Utopia³. I'm on the server at the moment with Funshine X, Ron Douglas, and he is in our new age, our age of Steam. We are now on version 1.0.3 of Utopia. Now, just to keep you up to date, Nem is currently working on the XML required to get the Utopia as a public pack on the app launcher. So that's very cool. Ryan the Almighty is giving the pack the go ahead to be on the AT launcher, at launcher. I should have to ask him what it is. Is it at launcher or AT launcher? So sometime soon, I know Nem's spending a lot of time on it, so I can't give a definite time, but sometime soon the Utopia mod pack will be available to download and play as a public pack. Very cool. So right, what we've done, we've updated to version 1.0.3. Big props out to Nicholas. The mod pack now has got 203 mods in it. The genetics bundle has gone, so our Thunderdome has gone. The genetic flight has gone. I've got my thermostatic harness back on. We have got a whole load of new mods. We have I've got a well to go show you actually. We have got an Age of Steam. I'm going to carry on with the IC2 stuff in just a moment. I've got some ideas. I've been doing a little bit of testing with Steve's Factory Manager, which we've now got as well, to automate the IC2 processing. I haven't got enough power yet though, so I need to work out how to do nuclear reactors again. I think they may have changed a bit. Chop frames. I think it's chop frames. Soul is mutation. Oblivion. Oops. Is the single tick. Killer. There we go. So yeah, I want to get some nuclear power sorted out. So I need to see what's changed since the last time I did nuclear power, which was I think 1.5. So I'll go show you this age that we've made, where Ron is currently. He's playing with bees in it. Alright. I'll go to spawn, and from spawn, oh well, I'm here by the way. Let's check out how much wood we've got in the tree farm there. Oh, look at that. We've got 409,000 wood. Cool. So a little cat there's working his heart out. Very cool. Good job, little guy. We have got extra cells in the mod pack now, which is the add-on to Mega Freak's excellent add-on to Algorithm's excellent applied energistics, which allows it. Which he also added this wall roof for some reason, but that allows you to store liquids in your AE network, which is very awesome. I think I'm going to stick with drums because I like my little drum system. But this is one of the first things I need to mention. This thing was made by Nemson on the Madlands vanilla server. We've got a modding called Schematica. I think it's called Schematica, where you can actually... What it's done is Nem loaded a save of the vanilla world up into single player Utopia, which had this building in it. He then used Schematica to take a copy of this building and was then able to rebuild this building in rebuild this building in Utopia server, and now he's just going to go around changing all the blocks for updated versions and mod pack blocks and stuff. I like this a real lot. It's got a real nice thing going with the clay and the bricks there. I like it. It looks like the paint's kind of faded. I like it a lot. So that's what Nem's been up to. So yeah, he's going to change all this for modded stuff. This is going to be a big train station, as I'm sure you might have had the idea from the shape of it. If we was to go that way, we'd find Ron's cool little train station that way, and he's got a bee place further out. In fact, you can see where I went to visit him. So that train track goes quite a way over there. There's Ron's train station, which is very cool, and then there's his little bee house, which is very nice and hidden away over there. I've got a plan for this place. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. Well, I'm going to show you how we'll go. I donated some steam locomotives if anyone wants them. We've got Traincraft though, so I think people are going to be using Traincraft, which I shall have to try and get time to have a go at myself. What I need to do is I need to update my little clipboard and start getting some things on it that I want to do, because this clipboard has not had much action for a long time. A little bit laggy when I'm switching zones and stuff. So what was it, panel worker. I actually did that for the Thunderdome. More AA storage, that's been done ages ago. Lighthouse I've knocked down now. Building Age, I haven't really done much on for a long time. So anyway, I need to actually start getting some to-do things onto this. One of the things we've got in the pack is in the new bundle is a mod called Billund. This is really cool. There's a thing in here now. There's also these things. Look, that's got infinity on it. Nice. And these are from Better Archery. So we've got a mod called Better Archery that adds loads of different bows and stuff, which is cool. I'll put some bows somewhere. Are they in there? Possibly in here. There we go. We've got a long bow, a normal bow, and a composite bow. So let's check out what that's about. So the Age of Steam is meant to be a little bit more laid back, not quite as techy. So building stuff in there is not going to be as techy as it is out in the overworld, if that makes sense. Well, one of the things that mobs drop now, so I had my mob spawner turned on earlier for a bit, which I should be able to raise the roof now that we haven't got mutant creepers anymore, so it shouldn't be blowing things up. And got this thing, Billund order form. Oh, check that out, by the way. My helmet revealing has turned into creamed corn. What's that about? Nicholas is going to fix this for me. So it's a bit of an ID issue there that my helmet is now creamed corn and it won't go back on my head. So, yeah. Right, anyway, so this thing, Billund order form, drops off mobs, and you only need one because it doesn't get used up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some emeralds. I'm going to grab 10 emeralds. I ain't got many, but I can spawn villagers at will, so if you look in my little trading station here, all I need to do is keep spawning one until I get one that'll give me like emeralds for steak or something like that I can put cows in, something like that. So I can get emeralds easy if I want them. What we can do with this is we come up on the roof. Come on, fly, idiot. I really suck at making this thing work. Oh, really? Wow. Damn spacebar. I'm blaming the spacebar, not my lack of dexterity. So this chest, ooh, where'd that chest come from? I want to show you. Watch this. So I'm going to pick colour pack A. I'm going to place an order. And what we're going to see, hopefully, if we look into the sky. If we look into the sky. Is anything happening? Well, no, nothing seems to be happening. Here it comes. Check this out. Whee! It's a little, look at that, I can fly that time. It's a little chest and a parachute. Yay! And inside it, oh, that's unfortunate. It's actually damaged my block. Inside it, we've got loads of Lego. Check this out. Lego bricks. How cool is this? I kind of want to build a castle out of these, but they're really small, so it'd take me forever. But check these out. So you can place them all over within a block. You can even place them in the air within a block. But so, man, I could have so much fun with this. But see, look, if you come closer, I can actually place them. I'm placing that up in the air. Look, that's at the top of the block. Was it? I don't know. Blew my mind a bit. Place down there, will you? So I need to play around with this. I'm going to get my head around that a little bit before I start. Oh, before I start properly playing with it. Idiot. Where's my thing turned off? Oh, it's when I was showing Nicholas my creamed corn last night. There we go. So yeah, Lego in Minecraft, which is kind of like Lego. So it's like Lego inside a game that's kind of like Lego. Mind blowing. Let me just grab. Where's my dolly gone? Grab my dolly. There it is. Cool. And before I do anything else, I'll put that there with that one. So that was a first pack. Oh, there's me the order form. I wonder where that had gone. I've got a couple of order forms in there. So I've got the starter pack, and I've got colour pack here. So yeah, Lego, brilliant. Right, so let's drop down here. I'll quickly repair that before I forget. I need a half slab. One of you, please. Thank you. And I'll try not to suck. There we go. Learning to fly. And I'll get on with this now then. So, right, what we need then for IC2 processing is the first step is the macerator. The second step is an ore washing plant, which I think all the bits are in here to make. So I'm actually going to see if it'll auto craft me one. And if it will, I can just blank this pattern in a minute. So let's have a look. Or one of you, please. And if we look in there, oh, it's working away. Is it working away? Are we stuck on something? It's not saying anything's missing. But anyway, that's the first one I need to make. I shall probably cut in a minute because I don't like it. It looks like it stopped. What are you waiting on? You should have everything you need, you damn guy. You can make them, you can make them. What would we like for rubber? Should have rubber. Got rubber. It's got all that stuff. Well, I shall have to find out. So, ore washing plant is what we need next. Also, we need a thermal centrifuge, which is, again, is pretty straightforward. So, I'll show you the recipe real quick, then I'll get on and make it. So, thermal centrifuge. That actually uses a mining laser, which might cause me some issue. Let's have a look. Advanced alloy. So, I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to have to make some advanced alloy. So, I'll need my compressor. That's fair enough, though. So I'll get that made as well, and then we're going to need a furnace as well. So I'm just going to use the electric furnace. Now we have got oh, there we go, electric furnace, nice and easy. I believe we've got advanced IC2. We have. So we've got the rotary macerator, the singularity compressor, the centrifuge extractor, and the combined recycler. I may upgrade the macerator to one of them later, and I may make the induction furnace later. But for now, I'm just going to leave them as they are. Just to get things started. We're going to overclock them all and stuff like that. The good thing with these is that they run real quick when you've got a redstone signal on. The bad thing is you can't overclock them, so you can't have it all running on the same voltage. So I'll get on making them. I'll be back when they're made, and we'll start putting them down, and we'll start looking at Steve's Factory Manager for automating it. Cool. Okay then, I'm back again, and check that out. I've been making the electric furnace, and look at that high-speed locomotive. I'll have to make one of them, aren't I? 700 mil MHP. Power what? 237 max speed. Well, that's what we're getting to my base in the Age of Steam. That's not very steamy though, is it? But if it's in the train craft. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. I've moved my macerator. It's now over here, and I've made an ore washing plant, a thermal centrifuge, and an electric furnace. Now I've placed all these together. There's a couple of things we can put in these to make things work a bit different. Have I not changed my? I've not changed it. Hang on a minute. Let me just go to Whitelisted. And what do I do? It's not in there at all. It's in controls, configure, Whitelisted, and I want to change usage to U and recipe to R. Thank you. And now if I press R, there we go. So very straightforward ore washing plant as I showed you, and then thermal centrifuge, a little bit more complex. It needs an advanced machine casing, so I meant to make some advanced alloys, some carbon plates in the compressor mostly, and we went to one of them last time as well for the MFE I think. And electric furnace, pretty straightforward. So I've got them there now, right? One thing I did was, this was going real slow. I actually made 64 of the advanced alloys, so I've made some overclocker upgrades. Now the way I've made these, we made them with a cable circuit and some coolant cells. I had this liquid crafter in the chest there and this clock, so I'll just put a water tank on top of that ender tank with water in it, put some tin plates on the outside, and it's just a case of, that's all we had left. Let's get some more tin plates. I'm just going to go with 5 of these in each, so let's have 64 tin plates. which should also craft. Did I not change it to 64? There we go. Leave one behind. So I've got 64 tin plates in there. So it's just a case of each time this redstone clock ticks, it's going to produce a coolant cell. I could, of course, just have this connected back using a export bus, but this is just a bit temporary. I'm just going to let it burn through the 64 tin plates I put in there. So it works very nice, this liquid crafter. It's a very nice bit of kit. Now I did set up this guy, and it's alright, but it needs power, and he's only got a tank for one thing. If you check out the liquid crafter, it's actually quite superior. You can actually have 9 different liquids into this. So using either, well, actually now using extra cells, we can actually craft liquid stuff with extra cells anyway. But yeah, it works very nice. Anyway, I digress. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 of these overclockers in each one of them. So let's make 5 for now. I think that's all we had. I think that's all we've got the coolant cells for at the minute. Is 5. Anyway, that's going to make them. So I will be overclocking all these. There's also a couple of other upgrades that are worth mentioning as well. Industrial, and the other ones that are worth mentioning are the transformer upgrade. We can increase the energy up by a tier each. So 32 EU per tick macerator. With one in, I'll go 128. With 2, I'll go to 512. So I'll eventually want all these running at 512. I think that's already at 128. I think without checking, the rest are only at 32. So 1, 2, 3 of these would need 1. No, sorry, 3 of these would need 2 of them in, and that'd need 1. So that's pretty straightforward as well. That's just MV transformer. And then there's this thing that I'm not going to use, but it's also quite useful: ejector upgrade. Now with the ejector upgrade in these, we could put ore in here and it'd go straight the way across, but we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to use Steve's Factory Manager, because I love Steve's Factory Manager. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make them bits. Beaver's going to save it. And what I'm going to do is, in here, we're going to look for Steve's Factory Manager. And I'm going to make the basic, if I can type, the basic bits. So we're on quite an advanced version of this with a lot of stuff in there I don't really understand. But I'm actually going to make patterns for this, because I'm probably going to use this more than once. So we'll have one of them, and I'm just going to go with the cable and the controller for now. So they can go in there with the factorization stuff. So let's have some of them. So they're both called inventory. That's cool. So inventory cable. I'm going to go with 20 of them. It's nice and cheap, this stuff. It's alright. So that's going to be 24. Wonderful. I just want one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace some of this floor with this inventory cable. I'm going to run it across to the controller over here somewhere, and I'm also going to have a ME interface connected to the inventory cable as well underneath this probably. So I'll get them bits done, and then once they're done I'll come back and we'll start wiring this up to actually process our ores. Back in a bit. Okay then, so here we are. I have got a set of inventory cable running underneath my machine. I think it's a really nice look. This is just put in a camouflage for this, but I actually like the way it looks anyway. It looks very good. So I've got cable running underneath my machine there. This is probably going to be all over my base at some point, you know, and it's real nice because you can run power behind it. You can put liquids in with this as well. Now what we've got, the version that we've got at the minute, there is a couple of other things that I want that we haven't got quite yet. There's a thing called command groups that we've not got yet, but I can just add these into command groups later. You could, in theory, run an entire base off just one of these. You could have it just in the middle of your base and run everything off it, which I probably will end up getting to. Maybe not in this build, but certainly in the future. At the minute, what I've got is under here. In fact, I've just got my laser drill running because I need a bit of ore. And I'll start off with a bit of copper, a bit of iron. I've got any tin in there. A bit of tin, that'll do to start with. So we have got our laser drill, if you remember I made quite a while back, running. And all I've got under here is cable and ME interface, and the ME interface is touching the bottom of the factory manager there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export these 3 items. In fact, I didn't actually need to bring them with me. Let's have it as 1. So that's going to export any of them into here, so there'll always be some it can use. Now, missed the God, what are you doing, Akko? Get up there, you fool. So, what we can do now is I can start making things in here. So I'm going to do the first bit. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Then later on, there's going to be, like I said, there's a thing we call command groups. What I can bundle all these into one command group, and then it'll just be there with a label on it, and I can open it and look in it when I want to. But for now, it's going to be a little bit untidy. So what we start with is, if you've not seen this before, the trigger is basically, you can set it so it's just an interval, or you can have it so it's redstone control, so you can have it by 10 on off with a lever, or a block update detector. We're just going to have it on interval, and the interval is set to 1 second. So every 20 ticks, this is going to do basically it's going to redstone pulse every 20 ticks, which is going to try and do whatever operations it's got set in it. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we are going to grab our input, bring it over here, and we are going to say inventory. We are going to pull from the ME interface. So we've selected the ME interface. Our target, it doesn't matter which side, so we'll just say up. Some things are important which side. For example, the macerator want to feed in from the top and out from the south. So that'll become important when we do that. But all I'm going to say is items, and then we're going to whitelist, and we're going to go for copper ore, and then we're going to click on this, and we're going to go one that way, or dictionary support. So that should, any type of copper ore, that should pull. And then same with tin. Which is a thermal expansion one. I like the look of the thermal expansion one. We'll have that one in there. And or dictionary support. Oops. And then we'll add a third one. We will add iron. And that doesn't need any support because it's only one type of iron, because that's vanilla, of course. These are added by mods. So that's a whitelist. So that's going to let things in the ME interface be pulled into the buffer. Yeah. So now we've selected that. That's all we need to do with that. We don't have to really mess with connections at the minute. So what we can do now is we can bring that there, and I'm actually going to call. You can change the name of this. So I'm going to change this to macerator in. Macerator in. I'm going to leave that for now. Let's just leave that as it is for now. I'll think of better names. Now we can connect that, and now if there's any of them types of ore in my system, it can pull them into the buffer, but they've got nowhere to go yet, so we need to give them somewhere to go, which is our output. So our output, I'm going to drag over there. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to set the inventory to be the macerator, which is there. We're going to set it to be going in from the top, which is where you feed into a macerator from. So that's good. And we are going to blacklist, which means anything that we want to send to that is going to go to that, yeah? So anything that gets put in the buffer from here, so basically anything we specify in the whitelist there can go to this. So we don't actually have to put them items in there as well, because we've already specified what's going to get pulled through this sequence. And then again we can ignore that. So what we can do is connect that to that, and what you should see is things are getting pulled into the macerator. Wonderful. They've got nowhere to go yet because we haven't connected anything. Now, like I said, I could have used an upgrade, and that upgrade, you know, I'm just checking if we had logistics pipes. We don't. I was going to make a remote order if we had it, because I'm not sure if I'm not exactly sure what mods Nicholas has added. We've got 200 plus mods now, so I was just checking, and that's not in there. So this ejector upgrade that I mentioned earlier, this would automatically eject into there, but sometimes there might be things from a macerator that I don't want to put straight into there. There might be other things I need to macerate, like diamonds, for example, for making the energiarium that I used to make the MFE. So I don't actually want the auto ejector on there, even though I could have. But what we need now is we need to set something to bring that out. So like I said, I'm doing this a bit untidy. I will tidy this up later, and I'll make these into real nice little tight bundles, and I'll use things like the flow controls to make it all run off one trigger and stuff. But what we're going to do is, so we're going to want the same three things again: an input, an output, and a trigger. And now our input is going to be from the macerator. So that's the starting point of this little LAN. The target, so I said it was south. We want to pull up the south side of that. Yeah, so if we're looking, that's south. And if you remember, a macerator puts out from the right hand side. I think it might put out from more sides than that, but that's the side we're going to go with, because it certainly does at least put from that, might put from others. So that's going to put out of there, and it's going to bring things into the buffer. What have we done? Input, south, yeah. Items, and then it's going to put blacklist. We're going to put anything in there can be pulled out into the system. And then here is where things get a little bit more complicated, because some things we're going to want to be able to go to the ore washing plant, and something I forgot is that guy needs water. So we're going to have to set up a little water input into that guy as well, which I can do for this. We've got water conditionals. So I'll see what doing that. I'll do that off camera, because I might have to mess around with that a bit. But what we can do here, we can split this to two outputs now. And one output can be to put things into the ore washing plant, and one output can be put things back into the ME network. So we're going to get this thing called a flow control, and we're going to say that we want this to split to two outputs. So what we've got is that connects to there, that connects to there, and now we've got two outputs rather than one. So let's give myself a bit more space. So one of these is going to put into the ME network. So for that, we want to say our input is the ME interface, and we'll go up because it doesn't matter. And for the items, we're going to want a whitelist. We're not going to put anything in there yet, but we only want certain things going in that way, so we'll put a whitelist there. And then this might give us an error because we've not actually put anything in the whitelist. Yeah, it has, look. So nothing's going to go there. And then this side, I won't connect it yet, we're going to want to send things to the ore washing plant. We're going to target the top of the ore washing plant. And this time what we're going to want is them dusts that we just saw. So it's crushed, and there's a few of them. It's not purified crushed, it's just crushed. There we go. So we're going to want crushed copper, crushed iron. In fact, I'll do it in the same order I always do stuff. Crushed iron. In fact, we can put all these in while we're here. So what else have we got? We've got gold, silver, lead, and uranium. Is that all of them? Possibly. So they can all be crushed. So that's a whitelist we've got there of them items. So we're basically saying any crushed items that can come out of there can go into there. So what we can see now is if we connect that up. So first of all, if we look in there, we'll see that crushed copper is still in there. That's gummed up now because there's no room for anything to go anywhere. This has got nothing in it. If we look in here now and connect that up, we should see that the crushed copper's gone in there. This is going to get gummed up again because it's got nowhere for the iron to go. But if this had a water supply, which I haven't got at the minute, let's just quickly nick that off there temporarily. So we can put that on top of there. We can output water into there. So that's going to start processing now. And then this has got nowhere to go. This gets a bit more complicated now because now we've got three things to deal with. We've got purified crushed copper that we want to send to the thermal centrifuge. We have got tiny piles of copper dust that we want to craft into copper dusts, and we've got stone dust that we want to put back into the ME network. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some more conditions. I'm going to do all the rest of the conditions off camera. I'm going to get all this set up, and then I'll come back and show you quickly what I've done. And we should have a fully automated processing line just from this. I'll be back in a bit. Okay then, here we are. I am back, and it's actually taken me quite a long time this because I broke this somehow. I couldn't break out. I took the server down again. This is more complicated than it looks. It's actually quite simple. What I did, I had a flow and I changed the flow to something else. Now you can change these in all the split works, all the connection works there. And I changed it and I think I caused an error in it and it crashed the server. Then when we came back on it kept crashing me. So it didn't take the server down, but every time I tried opening the block, it kicked me off the server. So I had to break the block, which means I've had to do all this again. So it's taken quite a long time. So I am going to probably wrap up in a bit because it's getting quite late. It's like 11:30 at night, and after streaming today, I'm a little bit eyes burned out, you know. So basically, what I've done here is I've put everything in apart from gold. I haven't done uranium yet either, because I'm not sure how I want to sort out the tiny dusts. But basically, what we've got here is this macerator in. So I've named all these to make a bit more sense. Macerator in is from the AE network. So I have to move these over here just to show you these two, because when they get close to the edge here, you can't really see. So this one, as you can see, is from the ME interface. Don't matter what side it is. We're whitelisted all the ores there that can go through this system, and uranium's ore is going to go there as well. In fact, I can put that there because I've not put it into the ME interface. So we'll add uranium. So that can go there as well while I'm here. And so that's whitelisted. So that's sending things from the ME interface down under the floor there, which we'll go visit in just a minute, to the macerator. And basically all that bit is that's just the macerator selected. So the inventory is the macerator, and target is up, so it goes on the top, and items blacklisted. Actually, I think I showed you this bit earlier, but like I say, it's been a couple of hours, so I'm just double checking. So that sends all the ores that come in this system to the macerator. Then once they've come out of there, so this macerator out, we send them from the macerator to the ore wash. Now this is all straightforward. This can all be blacklisted because the only things that the macerator produces is the crushed ores. So these are both blacklisted on the items here. You don't have to actually put anything in, so it only creates one thing. Now, so that sends the crushed ores into here, which then go through the ore washing plant. So from the macerator we go to the ore washing plant. This also needs water, which I'll touch on in just a minute. But what this produces, if you look at the recipes, it produces stone dust, tiny piles, and purified crushed. So that's three things that this can produce. So what we've got here then is we've actually got a split here, which is what this is about. So the macerator there sends things to the ore wash. The ore wash is receiving from the macerator, and now we're split into two different things. And what we want here is, so we'll put a flow thing here that splits the one input into two outputs. So to the thermal, we have got whitelist of purified crushed ores. So that sends them to the thermal centrifuge. Yep. And then here we have got to the AE network, and this is just another flow control that I've renamed just to make it a bit easier. So that's a 1 to 2, and that's a 2 to 1, and that's an output. So this target is back to the ME interface. So basically what we've got here is we've got a whitelist in this one. That's telling us that stone dusts and tiny piles of dust go into the ME network. Now with tiny piles of dust, I have hit this thing a couple of times. It starts off with precise there. Ore dictionary is what we used on the ores, of course. I've gone one further and gone to fuzzy detection. So what that means is it's going to take any tiny pile, not just iron, because the tiny piles are all the same ID with a semicolon after. So that's all good. So if that's copper, tiny piles of copper or tin or whatever, that just sends them to the ME network. Now what I was going to do, what I started doing earlier, was doing an auto crafter that crafted them into dusts and put them back into the furnace. But Bevo said he had trouble getting that working, and if Bevo can't do it, then he's miles better at this than me. I did do it a bit, but it started sending some of the wrong things into the furnace, so I've got rid of that for now. I'll probably come back to that later when I know how to do it a bit better. So basically then, stone dust and tiny piles are going into my network here, and I've added them to the ingots thing there. So if we're looking here at tiny, you should see that even though we've only got ore in there, we've got iron, we've got all these tiny pals that have come through, which then can be auto crafted into dusts and then put back in. So I need to set up some kind of auto crafting for them, which is pretty straightforward. I can do that with ME Precision Export Bus into the top of this, or I can do it somewhere. There's ways of doing that. So like I say, I would like that to auto craft, and I probably will do that at some point. But then there's them then, and then so the other bit goes to the thermal centrifuge. Thermal centrifuge produces dusts and also tiny dusts. So if you look at recipes for this, you'll see this produces tiny dust as well. So these tiny dusts again. What was that one? That's the RTG fuel, plutonium. So let's say I've not done all the conditions for this kind of stuff yet. The uranium stuff, I need to learn a little bit more about that, but I will do that as well. So the thermal here, so that's coming from the thermal centrifuge, and we're splitting the flow here because we want to send some stuff to the furnace. We want to send dust to the furnace. So this has got a whitelist of the dust that we then want to cook into ingots, and this goes to that same AE where the tiny dusts are. So you see we're flowing back into the same condition there. So them tiny dust can come from here or here, and they'll go back to the AE network. And then to the furnace. So then the furnace is just input from the thermal centrifuge, which is there. Sorry, input into the furnace, my bad. The input into the furnace is there, of course. So that's from the thermal centrifuge into the furnace. And then in here, this is the output from the furnace. So we're going from the furnace. So we've selected the furnace there, yeah, and we're going out the south of that, like the rest. And that is just going into the AE network. So that is just sending separately into the ME interface. Now I could, of course, have just connected that to this by using another flow thing, but I've just done a separate one there to keep it a bit tidier. So there we go, that's automated processing. And then the other little bit we've done here, we've done a liquid condition. So we've got liquid conditions down here, and what I've got is I've got an input that is a ender tank, and our output is our let's pull that up there now. Our output is our ore washing plant. And if I put this back, you can see nice and easy. Oops. Under the floor down here. Come on, get on, fatty. Under the floor down here, we've got the ender tank is there, so that's what that's set to. So that's just putting water in from my water plant, and that's getting water into the system as well. So we're doing items and liquid from this. Very nice. Now, I did come up with an issue. I kept running out of power, so what I've done is I've made a transformer upgrade for each of these. So a transformer upgrade for them three and these two, and I got rid of the low voltage transformer here. So we've got you see, look at that. That's actually using power quicker than this can make it, because of course this is only putting out a little bit of power. It's 32. So when this is running, it is going to drain that down pretty quick, but like I said, I'm going to get onto a nuclear reactor soon, which should power this a lot better, and I'll put all these to 512. So everything here is running off 128, so that's keeping it alright. Each one's got 5 overclocker upgrades, so it goes a bit quicker, but it doesn't need to go quicker. I could possibly take them out, and that'd last a bit better. But what we're going to do now then is we add our last thing into here. Now the ME interface is a really nice thing, because one, we can have things into there and they'll all stack up in here. Yeah, so as long as you leave one empty, then there's a place for things to come back into the network as well. So if you put 8 things in here and there's one of each thing actually in the AME network, this would get full and stuff can come back in. But as long as you only put 7 in here and leave a gap, then things can get back into the AME network through this as well. Plus we've got all these processing recipes, so we could set up processing recipes that send things to the macerator, like diamonds to get crushed, things to the compressor, all things like that. They can all go in this as well. So and of course we can always add more ME interfaces, and they're there. We can just expand that. So this is going to work really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bang gold in there, and you'll see it's going to start exporting gold. So if now we run back upstairs real quick before it processes everything, we can see this in action. So in there we are macerating gold. In here we are processing that gold. It's a bit slow and it pulls the power down. I should possibly, there we go, but that's doing that. I should possibly take the overclockers out. The purified gold comes in there. The stone and the tiny dusts that are coming in here have gone back into the A network. Again, this is the same. Why are you not working? The crushed gold is going to go into there as gold dust. That should not be there. Iron dust, why are you there? A little bit of debugging going on. So we want to beat thermal out. Is that where our whitelist is? No. Thermal out to furnace is, that's where the whitelist is. So have I got the wrong type of iron dust? What's that saying? Is that pulverized iron dust? So what I should actually, oops, wrong button. What I want to do here is I want to, dictionary support on that. I should have not pressed that. And dictionary support on all these. So if it gets any other ones in there, there shouldn't be any. Oh yeah, because it depends if it gets pulverized or whatever, which one I put in. So I'll do it on all of them, just to make sure. So they should take any dictionary dusts. So that's gone now, that's worked. And that's gone through that pretty quick. So we should have no dusts in here, we should have ingots. So, yep, we've got no iron dust in there, so that iron dust went somewhere, so it must have gone into there and got processed pretty quick. So that's working pretty quick with the overclock upgrade. So we'll watch this last bit of gold come all the way through. There we go. It's going to get processed. Going to come into there. Going to get processed a bit slower in here. And then once we get near the top of there, we're going to see it come through and get processed very quickly in here. Go on. Come on. There we go. Bam. And then out back into the network. Wonderful. So we've got a nice little system going. It's like I say, it's a bit slow yet because of the power limitations we've got, but we're getting there and I'm liking it. So now I am happy enough. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you as always for watching. I hope it's entertaining and I hope this wasn't too confusing. This is a really powerful mod, Steve's Factory Manager, and it can do all kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to the day when I can run an entire factory off it, just for the sake of doing it that way. And I hope you stick around for when I do that eventually. I'll be doing it over here as well. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.